No, I don't.
Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is Monday, and we had a sell-off big time. And basically, the NASDAQ is down significantly. The only thing really doing well is oil stocks right now. And of course, fortunately, if you've been following along with us, we do have a bunch of oil stocks that I want to show you. But first, let's get into the slides and kind of commiserate here a little bit. Uh, Here's what's going on. Um, we've The market condition has changed. We are now in a market trend under pressure, and what this means is you want to uh, pair your holdings right now. You want to basically take profits if you have them, and you want to reduce your overall exposure. I would not be exposed to this market any more than about 50%. Currently, I'm about 35% invested, and so I'm very, very light coming in here. And the market just definitely is changing, and it is going from a confirmed uptrend to a market trend under pressure. And basically, I think I think the bear rally is over with, and I think we're going to be basically moving lower into um, into September.
Yeah.
It's looking like, and I think we're going to have more of a sell-off in the market. The Basically the we moved from the confirmed uptrend to a market to an uptrend under pressure. We basically have several distribution days, three on the Nasdaq and three on the S&P 500. I would not recommend being in any Nasdaq stocks right now, such as Apple, Microsoft, and I just see this as dead money for a while. The action is going to be in the inflation stocks, and of course, that's oil and gas in particular. And I want to show you some of those that I have. Here's a stock that I've been increasing my position in. It is it's called Range Resources, and it is essentially a gas stock, and it's doing quite well. We have a 100% checklist on it. It's up after hours, and I'm definitely adding to this one. So if you're interested in this one, it's Range Resources. The symbol on this one is RRC. And interestingly enough, we are right at a buy point. So that is indeed good. So this one is actionable if you want to basically have a place sort of to park some of your money uh, right now. I mean, I think it's one of those things where, we've got to be careful in what we're moving into, but this one seems to be doing fairly well, as you can see from the chart. Let's see if I can change it over here for people that are looking on TikTok. And by the way, if you want to see everything, we are live on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. This stock here that we were talking about is called Range Resources. It is an oil and gas stock, and it is currently in the buy zone. It's up significantly after hours. I added to this position today, right before after hours, but it's up 2.25% in the after hour trading. 98 relative strength is the top 2% of all stocks. So this is one that you might want to jump into. It's based, believe it or not, in beautiful Fort Worth, Texas. And that seems to be the way it's going here. Interestingly enough, we've got very nice. We're very close currently to the 21-day moving average. This is a very good place to buy it. It is in the buy zone. There is on the pattern recognition, we're basically right at the pivot. The pivot is $34, and we're at after hours. We're up a dollar, almost a dollar, 34.93 on this one. So this is definitely bucking the trend of the market. The money is moving back into the inflation-based stocks, and of course that's oil and gas. So I wanted to show you that on the that as well. So let's take a look at currently what I am currently holding. As you can see, there's a number of stocks that I did sell off today. On semiconductor, I got out of that slight profit just barely. The semis just have not been performing well. Of course, those are NASDAQ stocks. I Cheniere was down fairly significantly today, but I definitely think this one is worth building a position in. The symbol on this one is LNG, and this one is a company that is involved in the development of liquefied natural gas plants. Now, it did pull back today below the 10-day line, but I'm still very, very bullish on this one. It was up after hours. So this one, I think there was a little bit of a correction. Might be a buying opportunity for Cheniere. It's got an 89 checklist, which isn't quite as good as Range Resources RRC, but still very, very good. On the pattern recognition, basically we are a little bit extended, but we're still in the we're still at a place that it is buyable off the daily chart. So we're currently in the buy zone on this one. On the technicals, basically it's pretty close to the 21-day line. This isn't a bad place to buy it at 358, 359. It's at 365, unfortunately, after hours. So it's moved up quite a bit in the after hours trading. But tomorrow there's going to be a movement to the oil stocks, many of them the smaller stocks, such as Orange Resources. Also, another stock that I did move in today. I had a small position in it, and I've been buying this one as well, and that is Comstock Resources. CRK. This is heavily involved in the gas business. There's going to be a massive gas shortage in Europe this year, and as a matter of fact, there could probably some rationing. So this is potentially good for the gas-oriented companies like Comstock Resources. Up until recently, the natural gas market was not an international market because it could not be shipped. But that changes with LNG and the production of liquefied natural gas, which can be shipped. So that's kind of the situation here. Here is the chart on that. Strong after hours action, up 2.3% after hours. So tomorrow there will be a very large movement into some of the gas stocks. And that's basically, this is capital that's a seeking some refuge from some of the difficulties that are going to be plaguing the market in general. So, something you definitely want to look at. You want to look at some of the ones that are in gas stocks, Comstock Resources, CRK, and let's go through kind of the checklist here on this one. This one has a 100% checklist, and again, I'm trying to put out there to everyone. I'm trying to put out the very best stocks, and these are the ones I'm investing in. So I'm not. Actually investing in these and putting real hard dollars on these stocks. And I do think we're going to have there's going to be a pullback in the market, but there's one area of the market that is doing well, and that is energy, especially in the gas areas. It's a 100% checklist on the pattern recognition for this one. We are basically, right at the pivot. I mean, we're a little bit above the pivot. It doesn't quite show it on this chart here, but we're coming up to the all-time high. The all-time high for Comstock Resources, 22.11. We're currently at 21.25, again, up 2.31 in the after-hour trading, and it was also up $2.21 2.21% in the regular trading. So it's up 5% today. So this one is definitely seeing lots of action here. And as you can see, there's volume coming into this, and I suspect this is people seeking a safe haven in this very turbulent market. I'll show you the small portfolio. This is what I use to gauge my performance. As you can see, I'm 75% in cash right now. I did sell off my position in On Semiconductor. Only really two stocks here in this small portfolio. One is Petrobras. Its symbol is PBR, which is just not, it's not Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's the Brazilian National Oil Company. Symbol on this one, PBR, and they are minting money because, of course, they are under no restrictions shipping their product to Asia and to Europe. And this is one definitely that I think you want to take a look at. We had a huge dividend on this one. Again, there's quite a bit of because this is quoted in Brazilian reals. There is a sometimes a big jump in terms of the way it's going. Today, it was up basically about 2.6% in the normal trading, and then after hours, a little bit, about a third of the percent. So very nice up there. But unfortunately, it is extended. It's well above the buy point at 1238. So really, we can't do anything here, unfortunately. I've been adding to my position as long as it's been within 5% of the buy point. But right now, unfortunately, it's just moved up a little bit too much. And I think that probably not a good idea to enter it. But on this one, in 20 days, I'm up. I'm up about 10% on this one, which in this market is pretty good, pretty good trade. So PBR, you want to take a look at this one. Hopefully, I'll have some more good trades for you coming forward. And so let's start taking some of the questions from TikTok, from YouTube. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you very much for that. Hi, KOS. Take a look at this one. KOS. Let's see. And there we go. Oh yeah, Cosmos Energy. I know this company well actually because when I worked short term for Sunoco, I actually we shared a parking lot with this company. Believe it or not, very very good company, primarily engaged in exploration in West Africa. So very very good company. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing this to everyone's attention here. I think this is a winning stock. KOS. It's quite inexpensive, $7.55. It's coming up to a pivot, so it is potentially buyable. The relative strength on this one is 98, which makes it in the top 2% of all stocks trading right now. Very interesting stock. Not quite as good a checklist as Range Resources, but very good company. 78% on that for that. So let's look at the technicals, see if we can buy it here. It's a little bit extended, unfortunately, but I think you could probably move in with a half position here because of the way this is starting to move. And I definitely think that we're going to see a lot of interest in this. Their primary oil is offshore, and that is basically in the Ghana and West Africa areas. So very interesting company and very well, it's very, very well. Very, very good company. Not a huge company, but by any means, but definitely something that you should be looking at. And this is KOS. So definitely thank you very much, Brian, for that. Really appreciate it. That's a good company and it's very strong. So there you go. Jim, we've bounced the next 2 days on Spider before death. If we keep continuing to fall. Yeah, I know. I agree with you, Derek. This is really a tough market. The Let's take a look at the Spider just really quickly. And of course, for everyone out there, the Spider is the ETF, the exchange traded fund that covers the S&P 500, and it's called SPY. That's the symbol, and it's a proxy for the S&P 500 in general. So definitely something to take a look at. We definitely had a huge sell-off here, as you can see. I mean, we came up 1, 2, 3. Beginning of last week, we were looking good. We were coming up to the 200-day moving average. Fortunately, we hit that, and it's just collapsed. We're now basically bouncing off the 50-day line. So this is not looking good for most stocks. Now, one thing that you should know about the S&P, is the S&P is dominated by small banks, and banks are very weak right now. So that's something to be very concerned about. The stocks that we want to basically be in right now are the oil stocks, are the stocks that are basically commodity based and have earnings. You don't want any future earnings here. You want low PE ratios right now in this market. So but definitely came up, pulled back, and I think we're going to get a leg down here. Unfortunately, I wish that wasn't the case, but I think that is the case definitely with the Spider. So there you go. All right, thank you. ARL ARLB. Let's look at that one. Take a quick look here. See what? Oh, Oh, I think Albemarle. Yeah, ALB. It's ALB. I think ALB is one you want. Sorry, but yeah, there we go. Okay, this is Albemarle. Albemarle is the world's largest miner of lithium. Interesting company. There's also another one that you should also be interested in if you're interested in this SQM. I want to show it, but it's pulled back. It's in the buy range now, and it's up after hours just slightly. I don't know if I'd be interested in this one. I want to take a look to see kind of what the comparison in the lithium miners is between Albemarle, which is the largest one, and a company which is in Chile, SQM, and this one is a basically a world leader in the mining of lithium. Now, if we're looking at lithium plays, the best one here I think is SQM. As you can see, it's a little bit outperforming. It's outperforming Albemarle, so that's probably one that we want to possibly take a look at. Let me see if I can bring up the chart here for SQM. And one of the good things about this one, it's a relatively inexpensive stock, and it's quite strong right now. Up after hours, 105. It's about half the price of Albemarle in terms of this per share basis. So it's pulled back to the 10-day line. It looks pretty darn good. Yeah. Okay. So we're about 5% above the 21-day line. This is potentially viable. 89% in that. Let's look at the pattern rack to see. Yeah, we're about 8% below the pivot on a cup with handle formation, which is a good formation. The buy point on this one, 113.70, and very interesting stock here. I definitely believe this one's viable right now, and I'm going to put that up on the for everyone out there, just so that they'll see it, so that they will see this one. So this one is it's SQM, and this is Chilean, and this is viable now. So if you're kind of if you're a little bit frustrated with this market, take a look at the energy stocks. Take a look at the stocks that are in the commodities area. This is what typically does well during in times of inflation, are the commodities. So especially lithium here with SQM. This is a good stock. It's $105 a share, but I definitely think it's worth it. And again, I've been buying some of the South American stocks. As again, the Brazilian National Oil Company, PBR, and then this one. I don't have a position in this one yet, but I will probably be entering this one, as I do think this is a very strong stock in the strong area. Albemarle is also very good, but it's a little bit slower than this one. So interesting stuff. All right, so let's see. Gosh, we have a lot of people today. Great, appreciate that. Hey, there we go. How do you trade gaps in a market structure? Very good question. Well, you've probably heard about fill the gap and that kind of thing. Those kind of things. I typically don't like to buy gaps. I want to be. I like to buy pullbacks and not gaps. Gaps are sort of uh, what you wanna do when you wanna buy it before the gap up or the gap down, but specifically before the gap up. You wanna buy it on a pullback, typically to the 21-day line. And I probably should put together a little video of this on how to do that because it's a very powerful way to buy stock. So definitely good to look. What does your checklist consist of? Very good question. Thank you for that. Let's take a look. All right. Well, this is the ONeill checklist. So let's go to a stock that I know has a 100% checklist. Right now, RRC has a 100% checklist. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to kind of show you, what I'm looking at when I'm buying stock. One of the things I like about this system is that I'm able to zero in on stocks that are performing the best. I like to be buying, it's sort of the Pareto's law, the 80-20 rule. I try to buy in the top 20% of all stocks. So here's the way that works. There's 9 criteria. This is invented by William ONeill. The earnings per share has to be greater than 80% of the market. The relative strength has to be 80% of the market or better. So that has to be in the top 20%. The accumulation by the funds has to be either A, B, or C. We have to have earnings per share up last quarter. We have to have sales up at least 20% last quarter. So this is very, very important. The current price has to be above $10 a share, and we have to be at least within 15% of the all-time high. We also have to have a 50-day average um, volume that's high, and we also have to have at least 5 funds that are buying this one. So this is a very, very powerful checklist. Now, there are other ones. There are other checklists that we can employ here. For instance, if we're kind of more of a value investor, we would go over to the Benjamin Graham. But you can see this one doesn't quite do as well. Now, Benjamin Graham was a value investor, whereas William O'Neill is a technical investor. So I'm investor on the technicals. That doesn't mean I don't look at that doesn't mean I don't look at the fundamentals. I always look at the fundamentals because they're important, but they're not a leading. They're a trailing indicator rather than a leading indicator. Now with Range Resources, we were up 182% in terms of the sales last quarter. The profits were up 423%. These are the kind of winners that you want to look for. Why? Because they're likely to do better. If you'll notice also, the number of funds that are in the stock have been increasing every quarter. Also, we can go over here and take a look at the estimates. The estimates of profits for this year is up 152%. That's why I like this one. Also, the price to earnings ratio on this one is 9, which is very, very low. This is a $34 stock, and yet the cash flow is $3.51 per share, which is amazing, and it has a return of an equity of 27%. So that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking, on these things. But if you're interested in the check, the if you're interested in the checklist for the checklist, I really recommend reading the book "How to Make Money in Stocks and Winning System: Good Times or Bad" because it really covers a lot of this. So this is really, really good. How's your PL for this year? Well, it's not as good as I'd like it to be. That's for sure. It's not like it was the year before. The year before, I had a really good run. Of about 80% profit. This one, not so much. I am really only up this year. I'm only up about 10%, which is amazing, which is not that great. So I like to be up more than that on the year. But thanks for asking. It's been a very tough year to trade. Very, very tough year to trade. I've been sort of my, my, I've been so much in cash just because I've the uncertainty in the market. So I appreciate that comment. That's really, really good. All right. Okay. Let's see. That was on the gaps. All right. So there we go. Here we go. Charles, I bought a bunch of SPWR shares 2 years ago. Interestingly, I kicked myself for selling. Oh, SPWR. Let's look at that. 2 years ago. Wow. You are great with your timing. I wish I could stand that long. SunPower, of course, is one of the very good solar stocks, and we're right in a pivot 27.15. So let's look at that. Let's look at that monthly. Boy, you bought 2 years ago. That's fantastic. You bought way back down when it was coming up. So congratulations. That's a very good run there. Very nice run there. So you should congratulate yourself. That's not easy to do. That's not easy to do at all. All right, let's see. Look at as turbulent as Boeing Max chat. Yeah, it's pretty turbulent. I agree with you. All right, let's look at ARLP. Yeah, take a look there. ARLP. Right, Alliance Resource Partners. And see if that one. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's production of coal. I'm liking that. Now, in the coal business, there's one really monster company, which is symbol BTU. It's Peabody Coal. So I'm going to compare this against Peabody just to see kind of what's going on here. And look at BTU to take a look and see kind of which one is the best one. Well, it's not BTU. This one's got a better performance, definitely. ARLP, so I'm liking that. Let's take a look at the checklist. Well, it's a very good checklist, 89%. So that's a very, very good checklist. And we are 34% below the pivot, but we're at 99 relative strength. That's a good stock. I have to say that is a good stock. So definitely think that. Unfortunately, it's extended. I wish it wasn't, but good stock. It's just extended, and that's always an issue. You don't want to buy extended in this market. It's just that's too tough. So ARLP, great stock, but is extended. So no buy. And why do I say this? Well, what I'm talking about extended here. What I'm talking about extended is typically the way stocks work is they'll come up to a pivot. In this case, that's 1901, and then it will come up, and then it'll be buyable in the buyable range, and then it kind of pulls back, reverses lower, and then it makes its run up. But the thing is, if it gets too far above that pivot, you really don't want to be buying it because it can pull back, and it can pull back very, very drastically. Now, in this case, that hasn't been the case. It's just pulled back to the 21-day line. So if you're buying this one, this is extended, but if it's close enough to the 21-day line, it potentially is buyable. Right now, it's over 10% above that 21-day line. You want to buy that about 3% or less off of the 21-day line. So this is extended right now, and we can't buy it, unfortunately. It's kind of sad because it's a nice stock, but you can't kiss all the babies, right? So there you go. All right, thoughts about Hess. This is actually one of my favorite stocks. This is Amanda Hess, and this is I think, are we talking about Hess? No, I think HESS is the company. HES is the symbol. Yeah, there we go. Hess. There we go. Yeah, this is a good company, integrated oil company. We are definitely below a pivot. 131.44 is the pivot right there. Boom. So this is buyable. This is definitely buyable right now. If we were to buy this at the reversal, what we would do is we would come up here and we would draw a line, basically like that. There you go. And this line is a reversal line. And when we have a reversal line like that, what happens is it's in a downward trend until it passes above that reversal line, which it did. So this one's buyable. Interestingly enough, 97 relative strength, very strong. Let's take a look at the checklist. Excellent checklist, 89%. Only missing on the earnings per share rating. Very, very good. On the pattern rec, we're 4% to the pivot. This is a good place to buy this one. Let's look at how far off the 21-day line we are. We're 9% above it, which is a little bit more than I'd like. I'd like to see this 21-day line catch up here a little bit, but this is buyable. It's in a good area. Yeah, oil and gas international. So yeah, I think this is buyable right now, Philip. I definitely like this one. I've traded this one before, and I do like it. So Hess is buyable now. So it really is buyable now. Oops, I spelled now wrong. N-O-W, not N-O-W-E. There we go. So yeah, Hess is definitely buyable here, and it's looking pretty decent. Look pretty good. All right, I think we have a few more questions, and then we'll take some for TikTok. Oh, interesting. This is an interesting stock. This is the uranium miners. I haven't been very active in this area. The UUUU. Let's take a look and see if there's a way we can look at this. This is sort of a long-term play because, of course, most of the uranium is mined in Russia, believe it or not. It's called Energy Fuels. I definitely think there's going to be more action in this. It's above the 200-day moving average, 91 relative strength. I don't know if I would buy it at this level. It's a very inexpensive stock, $7.80. So it's basically it's engaged in the exploration and mining of uranium in Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Wyoming, and New Mexico. But the problem, of course, in this business is they've got to get approval from the Department of Energy, which is very difficult. So uh, there's a lot of hurdles that they have to go through. But very interesting company. Not a great checklist, 56%. Here's the thing: I like the idea of it, but I tell you what, on this one, I would probably on this one for I would probably pass on this one. So you is a pass. I think a pass for me on this one, as I think it's going to be. Uh, oops, there we go. It's this one's really a pass for me. I just think it's. I just don't think it's set up well enough. It's too thin a market right now. I think you're better off going with something that's got a little bit more legs on it, and of course that would be some of the gas stocks because the gas stocks are doing well, and I think that's where you want to be concentrating if you can be. And again, we did put up some good ones on that Comstock Resources and Range Resources, both resources. I don't know why they call them that, but they do. Those are looking pretty decent. Uh, so right now, the action is in the oil and gas area, and of course there we go. Yeah, yeah. Jim sold. Yeah, I sold out. Yeah. Okay. What do you think? We're far enough out of the money to expire worthless? Good question. Let's look at ExxonMobil. The thing about ExxonMobil is it's about 50% of the ETF, the XLE, which is the ETF. Are you far enough out of the money? Okay, 87 due 30th. Hmm. I think you're okay there, Charles. I think you're okay. I think you're okay with that. Yeah, I think you're okay. I don't think it's going to come down. I think it's an upward trend off of this cup. So I think you should be fine. I think you should be very very good on this one. All right. Question for CCJ. It's probably be one of the last ones today, and we'll overview all of the stocks that we're talking about today. See how we're doing there. All right. Camco engaged in exploration and uranium. Interesting. This is Canada and Kazakhstan. Interesting company. Again, the uranium miners. This one's probably a little bit more significant. You can draw the reversal line there, so you know that it's headed up. Relative strength 95. And let's look at the checklist. Excellent checklist. Pattern rec. That's pretty good. It's 10% to the pivot. Can you buy this one? I think you can. I think you can. A little bit volatile for me, but I think this one's viable. I really do. I believe this one is viable. So, um, CCJ is viable. So I definitely think it's viable here. So definitely good stock. Thank you for that very much. All right, let's take quick questions from TikTok, and then we'll be good here. What do you think of Meta? Run. I think it's going to be very tough with the stocks that did well last year just aren't going to do as well this year, and I think Meta is going to be one of them. I think Meta is a very profitable company, but I would not be a buyer of it right now. I just wouldn't be a buyer of it right now. Okay, what are your favorite stocks? This is a very good question. Some of the favorite stocks that I'm owning right now, and I'm going to go back here to my list, but some of the favorite stocks that I'm owning right now is I like CRK, I like LNG, I like PBR, and I like RRC. So let's go over here to P, PBR. I think this is still actionable. No, it's a little bit extended. Too bad. I really like this one. I think this one's going to continue to go up. I do really like this one though. Unfortunately, I don't think you can buy it here. I think you had this, you had your chance, and unfortunately, it went up. And I was accumulating a position here. I wish I'd accumulated a bigger one. Obviously, I took some profits, but it was a nice one. Range Resources (RRC). I still think this one is really good. It's in the buy zone right now, and I think this is actionable. So, RRC is one of the ones I like, at least for right now. That's what I like. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out with me for a few minutes. And let's see if we got any other questions. Okay. Bear market. Yeah. In 2008, after the bear market rally, we rejected the 200-day. To yeah, yeah. I think we're gonna have issues like that. I agree with you, Derek. I think we're gonna have issues. That's one of the reasons I'm staying mainly in some of the. I'm staying in mainly in the commodity type the stocks because I think that's where the action is. I think that's where the action. I want to check one last stock before we go tonight, and that's Nutrien NTR. It had been pulling back, and it's now starting to make its move. This one might be a potential, but it did pull back a little bit today. Let me just look at. Yeah, so this one might be a potential in the agricultural chemicals area. Which one's doing the best? I want to see which one is doing the best. Mosaic. Let's take a look at Mosaic, MOS, because I do think we're going to have some unfortunate issues. Yeah, this is acting essentially the same. Mosaic and LF. Anyways, Mosaic. Okay. Well, thank you very, very much, everybody. Thanks for taking a look at my show. Also, if you can, I would really appreciate it, of course. I always need to get more likes. And one of the ways I get more likes is from you and telling your friends. It's please do that. Uh, the Please like the show. Really, really appreciate it when you like the show. And also, uh, please tell your friends about it. And I'll be back tomorrow at 5. Happy trading, everybody. Hope everyone's doing good. Don't despair the fact that the market's pulled back. Reduce your positions. I'm currently 75% in cash and only 25% exposed to the market. So reduce your exposure, take profits if you have them, and I'll be back tomorrow. Happy trading.